Welcome to Untold History. Today, in the fourth chapter of Samurai and Blood, we delve into one of the most decisive battles in all of Japanese history, Sekigahara. It wasn't just a clash between armies. It was a war for the soul of Japan. The fate of centuries was at stake. And from the result emerged a new order that would set the country's course well into the 19th century. Year 1598. Toyotomi dies. Hideyoshi, the great unifier, the peasant who became regent. His political legacy is immense, but his succession tenuous. His son, Hideyori, is barely 5 years old, too young to rule. And around him, a council of 5 regents will try to preserve the balance of power until he can take over. But in reality, everyone knows that only one has the clout to prevail: Tokugawa Ieyasu. Ieyasu is no stranger to the scene. He was an ally of Oda Nobunaga. He was the key general in Hideyoshi's victories. He is intelligent, patient, and calculating. For years, he remained in the shadows, consolidating power in the Kanto region around Edo, the future Tokyo. He has fertile land, a loyal army, and something else: the ability to wait. And Japanese politics is, more than anything, the art of knowing when to act. With Hideyoshi dead, the balance is shattered. Tensions arise between those loyal to the Toyotomi family and those who see Ieyasu as the new strongman. But Ieyasu is in no hurry. He begins to forge alliances. He marries his sons to the daughters of rival daimyo. He negotiates. He buys loyalties. He offers protection. And at the same time, he quietly strengthens his army. On the other side of the board, Ishida appears. Mitsunari, a former official of Hideyoshi. He is not a charismatic warrior. He is a talented bureaucrat, but without military charisma. However, he becomes the visible head of the Toyotomi faction. He unites the daimyo who fear Tokugawa, especially those from western Japan. The country is divided into 2 factions, Ieyasu's east and Mitsunari's west. Nerves are growing. Tensions are escalating. By 1600, it's already clear that war is inevitable. And then the unthinkable happens. Ieyasu marches west into the heart of Japan with an army of over 70,000 men. Mitsunari confronts him with a force of similar size, supported by historical clans such as the Shimazu, the Ukita, and the Mori. The chosen camp. Sekigahara, a strategic plain surrounded by mountains, thick fog, and narrow roads. On October 21, 1600, the armies clash. But what appears to be an even battle isn't. Because for months, Ieyasu had done more than gather soldiers. He had sown treason. Some of the daimyo on the western side, such as Kobayakawa Hideaki, they had received secret promises: land, wealth, forgiveness, and most importantly, power. For the first few hours, the battle is indecisive. Both sides study each other. Fog covers everything. But at the crucial moment, Ieyasu gives his signal. And Kobayakawa, who until that moment had remained motionless, switches sides. He attacks his former allies. Chaos breaks out. Others follow his example. What was once a united front becomes a tangled mess of broken loyalties. Mitsunari is defeated. His army is massacred. He attempts to flee, but is captured days later. And executed. Tokugawa Ieyasu win the war. But even more, win the right to rewrite history. Because Sekigahara wasn't just a military victory. It was the symbolic birth of a new regime. Ieyasu didn't make the mistake of his predecessors. In 1603, he received the title of shogun from the emperor. But this time, he wasn't a figurehead. It was the beginning of the shogunate. Tokugawa, who would rule Japan for over 250 years. The country is finally unified. But not by a charismatic conqueror like Nobunaga, nor by a commoner visionary like Hideyoshi, but by a cold, calculating, and deeply conservative statesman. A man who understood that the war was over, and that now it was time to build a lasting order. The new government will be rigid, orderly, closed to the outside world, obsessed with social control. But we'll get to that later. Sekigahara Field remains littered with bodies, with broken promises, with abandoned swords. and of a certainty that would forever change the destiny of the land of the rising sun. Thank you for joining us for this new episode of Untold History. If you enjoyed the content, we invite you to subscribe, leave your comments, and share it with those who love history as much as you do. We continue to reconstruct the past, one story at a time. See you next time.